Mark 14, verses 12 through 21. On the first day of unleavened bread, when the Passover lamb was being sacrificed, his disciples said to him, "Where do you want us to go and prepare for you to eat the Passover?" And he sent two of his disciples and said to them, "Go into the city, and a man will meet you carrying a pitcher of water. Follow him, and whenever he enters, say to the owner of the house, 'The teacher says, where is my guest room in which I may eat the Passover with my disciples?' And he himself will show you a large upper room, furnished and ready. Prepare for us there." The disciples went out and came to the city and found it just as he had told them, and they prepared the Passover. When it was evening, he came with the 12. As they were reclining at the table and eating, Jesus said, "Truly I say to you that one of you will betray me, one who is eating with me." They began to be grieved and to say to him one by one, "Surely not I." And he said to them, "It is one of the 12, one who dips with me in the bowl, for the Son of Man is to go just as it is written of him. But woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would have been good for that man if he had not been born." Gavin and Avery, what do y'all think about that Bible verse?
You think about yourself.
Okay, Gavin. Avery, what do you think about the Bible verse?
I think about it's great and knowing.
Okay.
Were they gonna have supper with Jesus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Crack.
Okay. Y'all keep making your food.
I made a spell for Mommy and Daddy because so listening.
Hey, what does Pastor John think about this message?
I don't know.
You come.
Oh my word, they are so cute.
Cuteness overload.
There's a lot going on there.
I love it
that
that Jared was taking licks off that fake ice cream cone.
I know. That looks good. I'm ready for ice cream now.
I hope you sanitized it first.
Seriously, there was a lot going on in that little supper that Gavin and Avery were making, but it seems like there's a lot going on with this Last Supper also. So, John, tell us a little bit about all of the elements and what's happening in with this passage.
Well, the Passover meal was a remembrance of the Exodus and the deliverance of the people from Egypt. It was celebrated every year. It they had different foods that represented different parts of the Exodus, and it was scripted. I mean, they said the same words every year. The same food was served every year. They had certain places where they would take a drink of wine as they moved through the Passover meal. But here's the deal. Every household was to have an extra set in case that was the night the Messiah would join them. And the cup in front of that empty place was called the cup of joy, or the Messiah's cup. And so for Jesus to break from that liturgy at the end of the supper and to pick up, and what I imagine is that the cup that Jesus picked up was the Messiah's cup. I mean, and I still, every time I think about it, I get chills of what it must have been like for the disciples to sit around that table as Jesus breaks from the liturgy, breaks from the memorized words that were spoken every year, and he reaches out, takes that cup, the cup of the Messiah, the cup of joy, and then takes the bread and does something completely different, something new for all of us. He says, this is my body given for you, as he breaks the bread and shares it with them. And then And then he lifts up the Messiah's cup, the cup of joy, and that's my imagination. We don't have any proof from the scriptures of that. And he says, "This is the blood of the new covenant. This is my blood shed for you." And the power and the confidence that the disciples must have felt from that must have been amazing. Now, of course, we know that directly after that Jesus identifies Judas. He leaves, as it was. Luke tells us, as it was Jesus' custom, he goes to the Mount of Olives to pray, and it's there that he is arrested, and the disciples, in spite of this powerful meal, they disperse. They go in all different directions, running, even to the point of Peter, who followed, at least for a while, to the courtyard of the temple, there denying him 3 times.
And so we call this Maundy Thursday, right? Or as Josh on his board has Monty Thursday, I think.
Is that not what it's called?
Yeah. Okay. So we
So why
usually,
So why do we call it Maundy Thursday?
Well, yeah, but also, why do we call it that? And then also, we're used to gathering together on Maundy Thursday and doing something symbolic, and of course we can't do that in 2020 right now. So, 1, what is Maundy Thursday? And 2, what are some ways that people can experience that in their home, maybe even tonight,
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of discussion around the nation about Holy Communion this week. And there are some churches that will be and have already started doing virtual online communion with the liturgy. As I've discussed with some of my colleagues, some well-respected scholars, Holy Communion is a meal that we take together. It's a meal where we're together and physically break the bread, physically share the bread and the cup. And to do it virtually, though it may have individual meaning, it takes away all of the community meaning. And so we won't be doing that. We won't be doing that as a church until we can gather back together. And that'll be one of the first things we do as a community. Is to break the bread of Christ and to bless the holy cup of joy to share in the body and blood of our Lord Jesus Christ. But what families can do is they could gather around a meal as on this evening, and they could share their thoughts about Jesus and to pray a prayer as we break this bread together. So we share in the spiritual body of Jesus Christ, in the resurrected body of Jesus Christ, in the body that is given for us for forgiveness and love. And then to as they drink iced tea or water or whatever else, to say as we drink this, so we also celebrate the connection that we have together, even when we are apart.
I think it's really cool of Jesus that he knows we love food enough to make food part of our way of worshiping him.
I want to share that Monday comes from the Latin word. It's Latin, which means commandment. And it has for Maundy Thursday a twofold meaning. The first is Jesus saying, when you gather together, do this in remembrance of me. And second, the great commandment, to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love neighbor as self. So when we think in the future of Maundy Thursday, let us remember the great commandment of Jesus and the commandment of who we are as the body gathered together.
That's awesome. I feel like that's a great place to end, because what else could we do today, right? But just kind of lean into that. Well, I hope people have some fun suppers like the Hood family had. That was so fun to watch. And hey, if you do, if any, whoever's watching this, if you have some cute pictures of your family celebrating and breaking bread together, why don't you just post them in the comments and let us all get a kick out of that.
And I want Jared to know I saw him make the dad, Jared. I saw him making a fake sandwich. And I just want to know, Jared, did you actually eat that sandwich?
We want to know. Your people want to know, Jared. Did you
answer the questions?
Answer the question. All right, that's enough. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Love you guys.